mentioned that she was gonna be a little late or maybe not make it, and then Linda just messaged saying that she wasn't gonna make it, right?
Yeah. She is or not?
She's not. Linda's
Out of town.
yes. Well, you ready?
Okay, so we ready to go?
Yep,
Yes.
we're ready.
All right, so just as so y'all please be thinking about what y'all gonna hear at this portion of the meeting. I don't know if this is something helpful or not. I hope it is. But so as y'all think of things, I mean, just shoot me a text or an email even during the month as it hits you, because if you're like me, you won't remember when Molly asked you.
Okay.
So just so you know, we take some of our operational funds and allocate it to each school building, which principal gets operational, and really it's discretionary funds. They choose how they're going to spend it, whether it's on supplies, professional development for their staff, anything like that. So here is just a quick how we decide how much they're going to get. They're getting $90 a student. And y'all remember during budget time, we talked about the number of kids, rears in the seat as opposed to the units that they generate. So because special ed is more units or different grade levels, different, they have an index. So at the elementary, middle, high, right here in column D, you'll see the number of units that our budget was based upon. It was a total of 934.05 units. We take that and multiply it by $90. $90, we have just kind of gotten to that spot through the years. 100 years ago, it was like $40. It was low. As the unit value increases, we're able to sometimes increase that. So then in column F, they get a base allocation. So elementary, middle, and high, their total that they're deciding how to spend is $84,000 of our operational budget. Now, please understand, our principals aren't responsible for their teachers' salaries, things like that. They aren't responsible for the copy machinists that we pay for in the building. So I know 84,000 isn't a whole lot of our entire budget, but the district is paying for all of that other good stuff. So column G is called extra program allocations. And if you'll see below on row 9, there's a $1,500 allocation for different programs, ag, science, life skills. These programs, it was deemed that they cost a little bit more. So everyone has that base allocation, which covers every teacher in their building. If a teacher needs paper, for example, even though possibly science has an extra program allocation, that base needs to cover everything for every teacher. It's for special ed teachers, ELL teachers, CTE teachers, but then there is an additional $1,500 for some programs that they are able to spend specifically on that program. Column H is the total amount. It's almost $100,000 that is sent to the principals for their budgets. And then I always just compare what they had last year compared to what they're getting this year. Decreased, our numbers decreased. So that's what this is based on. If you scroll down to row 11 about bonds, and this was a decision made many years ago that hasn't been revised as far as the amount. The district chose that $30,000 of bond funding can be allocated to the principals. Bond funding, remember, is assets. It's things like desks. It's also computers, and our bond question is technology. So this is things that they can buy that they need as are needed. And it's a little bit backwards. We come up with the $30,000 first, divide it out between the units. They're getting $32 a unit. That's what they're getting. And in column H, you see how much each school is allocated.
May I ask, is this where the bond money for libraries comes from?
No, ma'am. Some years ago, we could no longer, they did not, the election, the question, we couldn't include library books.
Oh.
So now library comes out of operation. So they're still getting an allocation, it's just not bond.
Okay.
And I don't remember which election, how far back that was, but it's been a while that we had to switch that.
Well, it was a wonderful thing when it was available.
Yeah, we
Of course,
just,
they took it back.
you know, they don't see, they, you know, don't see library books as assets. So just definitions that
Yes.
they provide us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Instructional materials, our district this year was provided 165,000 through our SCG and instructional materials. CAD doesn't ask us to track that, although we do report what we bought at the end of the year. So we come up with our own tracking. We track that. It is also divided out by the units, by the students. Again, in each of these, you see for elementary, their allocations decreased, and it was due to student count. The little chart down at the bottom, weighted membership, that just explains, as a reminder, you know, we had 50 first grades, but when we multiply by that index, we have 60 units. So those are the numbers we're using. So that is how the principal's budgets are allocated. I'm gonna, and then each month, you know, y'all have the budget reports we send you. You'll notice they're not in this packet. We don't start doing that until the end of August. Because there are times at this point, sometimes we may not even have that budget uploaded yet. And a lot of the expenditures and the secretaries really start spending come August, but we will run those reports for y'all in September. So every month, our principals and secretaries get a report that looks like this. They also get printed copies, just like y'all do, but this is just a cover sheet showing you how much, you know, in their, I'm gonna use high school because there's more detail there. High school has all those base allocations. And I'm sorry, guys, this is in that Excel spreadsheet that's within that same column, that same folder, if you wanna open it.
The workbook.
Yes, ma'am. But this is just an example, and all the programs get this, you know, so come the reports y'all see at the end of September are gonna have numbers in column C that shows their expenditures and encumbrances being POs that they have in place. And then it will show a balance. So this is what the secretaries use who are tracking it this year. They match up their account to ours, and if something differs, you know, they're really good at yelling and say, hey, you know, I'm not coming up with that same number. Maybe it was a PO that a variance. The PO was for $1,000, but 970 was what the invoice came in for. So the secretaries are very good about checking all of this because they're tracking their money too. And we have one for each program. Okay, technology is allocated bond funding. They covered in our bond question. Our bond funding can be used, of course, for equipment, but it can also be used for our E-rate match, which is more like in technology infrastructure, things like that. So they are allocated that money to use. Every few years, we have ed tech bonds that it is not an election, but it's part of our bonding capacity. That money expired June 30th, and it will be another year before we sell any more ed tech bonds. That's usually around $400,000 that we use over a few years. Our federal programs also get a spreadsheet. And this is just an example of our Title I structured literacy. Structured literacy comes through operational, but we still track that. And this just works the same way. The money they spend or have promised that they've obligated is going to show up in that second column. Before I go to a different spreadsheet, do you have any questions that I can answer?
Oh, you're good.
I know y'all are familiar, you see these, but I just wanted to kind of let you know. And we have like dates of the, you know, we have some PO cutoff dates because for budget, we need to know what we spent in these lines so that we can use that information for next year's budget. And one other thing, our operational funds that the buildings receive does not carry over. You've all heard about all the talk about cash reserves. And so the operational doesn't carry over. It's use it or lose it. Last year, we had some instructional materials money that were not spent by the end of the year, but it was encumbered. So if you were to dig a little deeper and look at maybe middle schools, the amount of instructional materials they have, it's more than that allocation sheet's gonna say, because that's what they're bringing over from last year that was encumbered. So if you wonder, why is that more than you said it was going to be? That's why we had some open POs, and we want to spend that on textbooks because that's what it's for. So the last thing I want to show you, in the worksheet y'all have has these tabs too, is just how some of the programs that come through the SCG, how they're allocated. For example, this is our fine arts, elementary fine arts. It takes the count, and this is from that the 910B5. Y'all get that in your budget package, but it's from that form. We have that count, and there's a factor in statutes. So it's multiplied by the factor and then by the unit value to give us $132,000. But no, this particular fund, we don't allow the principals to, we don't give it all to them. We only give them 95% until January comes and we have a final unit value. Because we have had years where the unit value has decreased and then we're in a pickle because we've spent more or obligated more than we have. So once we have that final unit value, we will give them the other 5% of their budget. Our bilingual program, we no longer have this, but when we did, it was generating based on, this is a previous year. It was 13.25. Factors and statute, and again, it's multiplied by the unit value. The special ed does the same thing. We take our special ed count, and that's how we have a 1.9 million in state special ed money. This is not the federal IDEA money that we were talking about that application earlier. This is federal. This is state. This is where our teachers are paid, our related services, things like that. And it sucks most of it up. We have an elementary PE. Principals receive an allocation for PE. We haven't given them that yet, but I'm going to visit with them tomorrow. The at-risk is huge too, something y'all might hear about. With the Yazzie Martinez lawsuit, at-risk it's always been important and they want us to spend money on it, but after the lawsuit, now we're tracking it. And they give us, program codes to track it. So we make sure, and again, we have a 75% free and reduced. The majority of our kids are considered at risk, as are our special ed kids and our ELLs, but they have other funding columns. But anyway, K-12 plus, I don't have a number in there now. We're waiting for PED because we submitted our calendar. We don't have, and there's a factor for any days beyond the required calendar days. So PED will send us, we'll have a budget increase coming. We just aren't sure we know how it's calculated, but things do change. I don't know if statute and rules changed between last year and this year. But when that amount comes in, we'll bring that budget increase to you. So anyway, please, if you have questions, we just wanted to share with you how funds are allocated and how the principals choose, like I said, how to spend it. But it is spent for all students.
Cool.
So if y'all have questions, and almost more importantly, if y'all have other topics you want to hear about, we'll let me know. Thank you. I'm happy to answer questions.
So explain, only last question, like in fine arts, so you have the 3 buildings, right? Do you divide the total amount by those three buildings, or depending on the capacity of
So,
students?
yeah, it's specifically elementary, students, which is
Okay.
K-6. So, there is money allocated.
Per
So
kid.
that, yeah,
K-6.
and first the teacher and the EA, the salary comes out. And then whatever balance there is, I believe in the application, they have the self-employed, so free theater, and then lots of art supplies too. And each building, kind of buys for themselves out of that same funding. That is just for K-6. So that's why you see a smaller number there.
Right.
You know, the membership, the 353 rather than 900, you know, our entire student body.
So would that be the same for special education, for at-risk? Just, do those get divided into three, or just?
By the student units, yeah. And if you'll look at that first one, when you have more time, just to kind of see how that's divided.
The PE is also only elementary school PE. It's really how the state funds,
Each one?
like, it was an initiative that they started and they felt like everybody needed elementary PE. So how do they do that? They give you funds in the SEG for that.
Mhm.
And so based on whatever that at the time was, that's where it comes through.
So wanting to, like, for example, your question was special ed on for the budget, our
Mhm.
average last year's 80 and 120 day count had 288.5 special ed units. And that's K-12, pre-K 12,
Mhm.
excluding New Mexico pre-K because that's a separately funded program. So, yeah. You don't have any questions, y'all, when they do come up?
Right, well, I like having it like this because it's so easy and quick to navigate once you get used to it. You know, I didn't get to this part of it when I was reviewing my packet, but I'll check it out though.
Yeah, and we'll link that in the agenda notes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna tease about it,
Yeah. Yeah, I
Oh,
got
like hyper-
spoiled. I figured, oh, this is all I have to look at.
No surprise. But y'all
That's
give us
nice.
more topics with whatever you would like in there.
Awesome.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you. But you know what, I'm not finding that folder now.
Yeah, that's probably where we get started. Yeah, while we're in between.
Yeah, but it's open. I mean, me ahorita sí, but there's a different page.
To the front.
Food services. So was it hyperlinked or no?
No,
No,
it was not.
It's just a page.
It's just a file
Yeah,
in the
right.
drive.
Yes.
It's not in mine.
Under, down at workshop.
Here's some of the board agenda items.
Vete todo para enfrente, because that's the only way I'm
When
gonna
we
be
go
able.
home. 25, 26. I don't know, that's all. the
Yeah, click on 811. And then keep going. And then agenda items.
Agenda items.
Yeah, and then workshop.
Oh yeah, we could totally hyperlink that too.
Yeah, oh, I mean,
And
for sure.
then that way we just know, yeah.
Well, because it was so nice to like go through there after I, yes.
Sorry, when if I scared you, it's like, I don't. Let's trying really hard. We leave when you say morning. Yeah. But that is vicious me and Nadia going. Wanting to say that she was going to go. That is good. To do some things slow. I get it. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting stuff. But I'm like, you want to know? This is. Anyways, and so it'll be as like y'all meet. I'll kind of started my stuff. fluctuating, like rainy, not rainy, rainy, not rainy. I'm like, oh, rain. I'm pretty sure it's up during sometime.
But
So I know it's humid.
We'll have to still do that.
There's probably one.
I found out you're related to Stephanie Miles, was
Yes,
our
I
art
am.
director.
She's a good girl.
I just found that out. Saw the last name. I said, I bet I know. her."
Yes, sir.
Here in Dexter.
Dexter grad.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
thank you. No, I'm so glad that. Okay, good deal. We're ready anyway.
Oh, it is 6:02. My bad. That's, yeah. I just got here. Feels weird. Okay, welcome everyone. It is 6:02. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, that he had assembled a perfect friendship among the united cultures.
It's so nice to have a full house.
I know,
Welcome,
it really
everybody.
is. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so, item 2, so we do have a quorum, we rose for the pledge. I'm a little off kilter. I started school too, so it's a little, my eyes are, I need my readers actually.
Well, and this is our first full meeting with, depending on the. middle
On this,
computer
yes.
thing, so-
So item 3, consent agenda. Item 8, consideration to adopt the meeting agenda. We have a motion on the floor.
I move, we approve the meeting agenda.
Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Miles. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second from Ms. Segovia. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Meeting agenda has been approved. Item 3B, consideration to approve previous minutes from July 21st, 2025. Yeah, comments, questions, concerns, discussion, or a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. For the
I'll
July
second.
21st.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 4, reports. A construction report.
Well, we got some exciting news within the last week. Previously, I had reported that PSCOC had denied our initial
Mhm.
request for 91,000 square foot. However, they have met this past week. They are now going to allow anyone who is still in the design phase to come back and ask for their initial ask. And so we're taking that as a good sign. PSFA really thinks that's a good sign that we will probably get what we asked for based upon our current number we asked for, 500 students. And the square footage that we were asking for meets those needs. And so anyone in the state who currently was denied is allowed to go back to the October meeting. So we are preparing to go to the October meeting.
It's October.
And that'll get us to the, hopefully, to the 91.
And then after that, we've kind of been in a stalemate since like May on where are we? We need a building size, so then we can actually design the inside of that building and what does that look like. So currently, we're still just on the how many square foot to make our building work.
Anybody have any questions? 500 students, you said?
Yes,
Okay.
that's how many we put in the last PSCOC. PSFA had asked that number, and we had changed it from the previous 546. They think that we'll just be able to continue on with the initial ask because we asked within the last few months.
Thank you. Okay, item B, student to teacher reports, middle school student council. I do want to just jump back a little bit. You could, while she's setting up on the building, just so that we kind of get it out there, that it's a combo award, but
It's a combo award, so it's a award for both elementary and middle. However, when we get ready to design the building, it can look however we choose. It could be two separate physical buildings. However, they're only gonna give us enough room for one office space. So, or it could be office space in the middle, on the side, up 2-story. There's all kinds of options that the architect will come back with once we have a number saying this is how big our building will be.
Get super creative, hopefully.
Hi, my name is Aubrey, Melanie, Evelyn, Gibson, and Genesis.
Miss Miranda.
First off, we'd like to thank you for giving us the federal funds to give us the opportunity to go to the summer workshop. We really enjoyed it and had a good time. These are some of the pictures we took after our talent show. Sorry. After our talent show, we were separated into 8 different councils. I was green, I was pink, purple, and I was maroon. We had to do crazy legs, crazy hair, crazy dresses, banner, spirit stick, and skip. Let's get. So this is the set. Field day was where all the councils got together and did games like volleyball, kickball, ladder golf, stuff like that. And then this gave us the idea for our field day, and the winning counters got stickers. We're always competing for stickers. We also did minute to win games, such as stacking the cups as fast as you can, each person taking one turn, bouncing, was it ping pong balls? Yeah. Ping pong balls with like cups or plates, like that. And each student had to sign up for at least one game, where each game was around 1 minute or less. And it just really brought everyone there together to work together.
So it's really cool because the advisors got to play in on that game. Have you guys ever seen that game where they strap a tissue box to the rear and they put the little ping pong balls in there? I did not participate. I was the timer. So I didn't have to take a booty. That's what it's called. And so, but it was really nice. I just got to be one of the back people last year. Last summer I got to be a council advisor within the summer workshop. This year I got to be kind of a +1 and help with all the recreation. That's why you see more involved pictures, because in these pictures it was a quick take pics, go back to timing. So, but yeah, there's lots of fun stuff that we all got to do.
So this is a picture of us at our banquet, and at our banquet we did the ceremony for like seniors, middle level students, and like advisors, and like the people who helped create the ceremony. And then this was us at our championship for the volleyball, ladder golf, cornhole, and kickball. And that's when we won our stickers, and that's also the day that we got our award. And everyone got like awards for their councils, and we all got to share the flags.
It was a lot of fun. So this picture right here is our Southeast District. So I don't know if you guys do this, I'm the Southeast District Advisor now. And so that is the group, my delegation for my district that attended summer workshop. So small but mighty. We're vast in land, few in populace. But it's great. It was so much fun. We all had an immense amount of time. I quite enjoyed it. There's that one.
Thank you for giving us the federal
Grant. Yes.
We really did enjoy it. For me, it was actually like one of the funnest experiences I've had in state council, and I would really love to go again. And I think everybody could say the same.
There's that one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Glad you
very
guys had a good time.
Thank you guys very much.
I kind of forgot to remind the high school girls about today. It was on me, so I just quickly threw a few things. Their vision conference this year was a state delegation to Oklahoma City. And I have just put a couple of pictures. They got to tour, part of going is they got to tour Oklahoma University, Oklahoma University. And it was so intense of the walking, guys. So let me tell you, this campus is not like something here, UMKC, my alma mater, like we're relatively close. There's certain school buildings that are away from the main campus. Oh no, this is one huge campus. And when I say a minimum of 8 miles, guys, my legs were sore the entire week. We were in Oklahoma, but it was so much fun. The girls, so there's the state delegation of students in front of a very architectural, amazing building. We were just being nerds and taking random photos of different places. Now it doesn't want to work. Okay, so part of being in that building was one of the oldest libraries in Oklahoma at OU. And we were told before entering, we had to be quiet. So much fun. So we took it upon ourselves to be super, super quiet, but do quite a few. This is one of my favorite pictures of them doing random poses in those chairs at the table. I did not include my picture of me at the desk with one of the dossiers, one of those masters, those books. That's the whole library is what it was, theses and things like that, doctorate stuff. It was so cool to be in that building. So very, very quiet. So here's the first day. So apparently I forgot to delete that. But there is the 5 of us in our chili hats. So Miss Massey, those that know who she is, this was the first year that she did not make our chili hats, unfortunately. But those hats were still a hot item to true. So there's them working really, really hard, taking notes. And like I said, each one of them, they want to go again. It's in New Hampshire next summer. I just told them, just find somebody that'll take it because I'm sorry, conflict of dates. So they're a little bummed, but they're really excited. So it was the world's greatest leaders all under one tent. And so that was the circus theme. It was really cool design stuff. So this is when we're at Santa Fe South High School. My picture is an Apple phone picture, so it doesn't compute with my Android phone, so it wouldn't upload onto my Google side. But so I use this one instead. But it said Santa Fe South, so it's so weird to say we're going to Oklahoma City to go to Santa Fe South. And so for us New Mexico people, it was kind of interesting. So this is the brand new Oklahoma Convention Center. And we got to be in the very freezing temperatures of the new building. The AC works beautifully, so much so I went and got coffee every time we were in this building. There's a little pop-up there. And so this is the delegation heading back. So it's really neat. I know I got a lot of it. I was approached, so we're many event advisors there, to ask us to, yes, we're part of their state association, and I'm part of, because of that conference I traveled to out of state, I'm part of the National Advisor Association. Now my council, we are paying the funds of a national council, student council. So that's really, really amazing things that we were asked to be a part of. And the cool thing is that that's one more step for them towards that scholarship. And then, because we're always doing so many things, I have a gift for you guys. I don't have enough for everybody, I apologize. But I do have one of our biggest projects this year is this drive, and finalizing this is, some of you may have seen this. I've got a couple that I can give out around in the crowd. And so this, please, and I know the Presbyterian Church has already done this. But it's our bottle cap drive. We are looking for 800 pounds. That does get us 4 benches, 200 pounds a bench. This is our biggest project. And you should have also heard of our second big project, which is the Roadrunner Food Bank. I am now officially a member of the partner of Roadrunner Food Bank, and we'll do it pop out of the Commons area of the Lewis Gym once a month. It's a mobile date, mobile drive-through thing. My mother-in-law is the one we go help with every month. The for our volunteer community service hours, and this is one way that we can give directly to our community. We don't have a set time yet, though, unfortunately. There's been a lot of, oh, I'm teaching now, so they're just kind of waiting. There's just been a lot of missed opportunities there, but they will be, I will meet with them on campus this Thursday during my prep. So I'll hopefully we'll have that answered by the end of this week. And I am sending all staff, all district email. I'm really excited about what we're bringing and helping our community with the childhood hunger initiative opportunity to of all the things. So if you have any questions?
Mrs. Moreno, you might just clarify for those that may not be aware what Roadrunner does.
Oh, Roadrunner is a food bank. It's a food drive. They deliver a truck, and then we help them not really unload it, but we have to unload the pallets, and then we separate them into boxes. So we are collecting boxes as well, and repurposing those to put the food in. So that way, when the parents drive up, they fill out the form. We hand them a box every month. So
How many pounds are gonna get, or is it weekly or once a month? you
once a
said?
month, once a
Mhm.
month, every second Wednesday is the official date. The time is what's, we're trying to get in the morning, just because I do have, like I said, my mother-in-law and other volunteers are willing to come help my council.
Mhm.
And, Mr. Smith at the high school also offered some of his peeps, his council members. But yeah, right now it's the second Wednesday.
Second Wednesday.
And so September 10th is the first one. I should clarify that.
And what is the expected, like delivery gonna be, like how many families
So
roughly?
we're starting at 75 families. And we're
Wow.
hoping, yeah, oh yeah.
That's-
We're
I mean, that's
looking at
really
like
good.
5 to 6 pallets, and I mean
Yeah.
pallets of food. But we're willing to adjust that number. My hope is we're gonna grow this, not too big for our britches. It is gonna be our first year with them, officially, because we've helped them for 5 years, 6 years up in Roswell. So we're starting our own. It's gonna, lots of nerves, but really happy what this is, the move we're making for our council. 75.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, item 4C, board reports. Anybody have anything to report?
I enjoyed coming to the back to school breakfast and meeting everybody. It was a nice, very nice meeting. And then the training was active shooter, but it was really more comprehensive than that. It was more disaster management. So I thought very, very nicely done. Appreciated all of it too.
Awesome. I enjoyed the dinner we had. I think it was July 27th, I believe. Where we-
The poll.
Yep, the hot dog dinner we had. That was good. I enjoyed seeing everybody out there as a community. That was pretty special.
We had perfect weather.
Perfect weather, yes. Hardly no flies, very little flies. Coming from a dairy, I mean, that can be relative. What's little to me may not be little to some, but so super excited to see everybody out there.
I was really proud of all the kids that worked so hard for the county fair and were successful with their FFA projects. That was really cool.
I went to the first day of the middle school. I give a round of applause to all those good teachers and teamwork. I made it very, very welcoming for our 6th graders. So thank you so much for that work.
Yeah, it's nice to see. I like seeing the bus drivers. I think they're the funnest because, they deal with them first and last thing. So that's it.
I would like to add also, I missed the first day of my little girl's back to school day. I was actually away in Texas, but they did it the last year as well, where all the football team comes out and they welcome all the elementary students. That's pretty neat. she's gotten to where she loves that. I mean, she's just, all the guys give them high five, and that was pretty special as well. Pretty
So item D, superintendent's report. You're up.
Okay, so we had back to school breakfast. Everything, like Miles said, went well. I felt like the active shooter was really comprehensive in regards to the fact that it focused a lot on your common sense and your ability to think for yourself, and kind of some scenarios too with that, in what would you do. And we even watched some videos of like what you think you would, that's not necessarily your reaction. So ensuring that you have a good plan in place and you're thinking about that plan, it's more likely to happen. I provided you guys with an enrollment graph. I did include from the year 22-23, we were at 900 students. We have dropped currently. We're about 740, but I even broke it down further. We're at a 39 student change from last school year. So the majority of those kids at the middle school level. However, we do have 11 at the elementary and 10 at the high school as well. It's just on your computer.
I'm sorry.
There's also some in there from the other
There's
information
something here too.
you provided. But you can see that the difference in total number of students that way. We talked last time about adult meals, and you guys approved the adult meals. When we got the information a couple days later, it did go up to $5.25 is our new adult meal price at the school. When we look at student and staff numbers, we are down students, but with the information provided to us, only one parent has put on the disenrollment form saying that it was lack of childcare. The majority of them are moving, and even when we look at that, they're not moving to schools within our, or even our zone, really. We do have some moves to Roswell. We do have a few to Hagerman or Lake Arthur, but we have Las Cruces and Carlsbad. There's a lot that are further away. So some of our families are really moving. They're not just changing schools. So that was interesting to me as I kind of went through that information as well. I included the staff directory for you guys just so you could kind of look at students as well. And then kind of the piece I wanted to touch on the most was the accreditation piece for the district. And so you guys received the accreditation document where you could go through every single school. But the piece that I think just to touch on today is training hours and requirements for our board. And when you look at that, Lewis, you were the only one not meeting those requirements. And it all has to do with the fact that in your first year term, you have to do 2 hours in each place versus everyone else only has to have 1 hour in each of those places. So the category that we need to make sure that you get to is student achievement and student support services. So if that's an option, that would fulfill everything for the entire year.
Does that run January through? I mean, how are they doing
And
it?
they're still doing it January to December, which doesn't really make sense in terms of we're going from July to
Yeah,
June
exactly.
for our accreditation. And so that's something that has already been brought up for superintendents when we have our first meeting with the Secretary of Ed to say, hey, we also need to go with the same school calendar because it is important that we see that same information be reported versus what happens come December. That will change a lot, especially if we have elected people who are different. So what does that look like for us at that time?
Gosh, I thought he has 28. Like that seems.
Yeah, he has a lot of that.
He has plenty of hours.
It's just that category.
It's just the fact that it's category 5 and right now, because anybody within their first year has to do 2 hours in 1 through 5. And then once you're through your first year, you just have to do 5 hours across the board. It can be 1 through 6 because they include that 6.
Well, and they are labeling them now because I think when we first went, they weren't.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so we were,
it-
it was like random.
It would have like, for instance, category 1 and category 6, and it looks, so it should have counted as a category 1 or a 6, but I think they just said, oh, we're gonna count it as a 1, that's why I'm showing 8 hours versus 1.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I do.
Because I remember hitting everything and being pretty sure that I was gonna have the 2 hours. But,
That's-
I mean,
But obvious there, we need to ask lots of questions when we go to stuff. Hey, where is this gonna actually be put? Because initially, I think they were just kind of tracking it. Now they're actually,
Yeah.
providing that.
Yeah, I know they weren't labeled. I mean, they are now. They're labeling them now, but they weren't
Yes.
initially.
yeah, the first few times I went, I was very strategic about trying to get 2, 2, 2, 2, but they weren't for sure saying you will get
Mhm.
a category 3 or a category 5. It would just say 1 and 5. And I was always wondering, well, what's it gonna go? I know I need a 5. I figured they would put it in the right
But
spot, but
technically, yes, time.
Yeah, that's also, I think that's more than anything, just in terms of, this is for next school year. They at least did give us 1 whole year to kind of look through this information and really drill down on all the places, because that's not the only place. I mean, all 9 categories that if they scored it, we did not score at the level needed to meet accreditation. So we have a lot of work across the board. It's not just, that's the only thing you guys actually have control over is ensuring you go to those meetings, like in terms of like, hey, I made my hours. So there is information, and as soon as they have kind of, so the state has not, it's not embargoed, but they would not like us to share it currently. And then we'll have that ability to share it out. And I would love to share all of this information with with the public, so that way they can see, hey, these are the areas that we're working on. And then that way next year, whenever it comes up and we've hit all of these areas, they can see all the growth that has happened in the last year as well.
No, thank you for clarifying that. So that's what we have control over. The rest is kind of
It is,
out of our control.
it's
I mean,
budget.
out of our control.
Yeah.
Like
But it's all a brand new system
all-
anyway.
yeah.
Correct,
Right.
correct. And I'm sure there's gonna be issues. I'm sure that some of us will have to go to PED and say, hey, no, this is happening, this happens. Like, we'll have to fight for some of those areas, but also having this information beforehand, we can ensure we're checking off all those boxes up. We have our 90-day plans in place. They're in the system. We have created systems that all of our financials is in place correctly. Those type of things. We have a calendar now at the district level, so we're ensuring we're not missing deadlines from the state. And the majority of the accreditation is just deadlines. Are we hitting the deadlines provided? And with some of that, it isn't always our fault. PED does change things at the last moment. And so are we communicating with them to ensure we're meeting them? Or do we have that communication to come back and say, hey, this is the reason we didn't meet them and it wasn't on the district? And then, hold on. So last time you asked about digital citizenship. So currently we are looking into 2 different options for training for our students. iSafe, we already currently pay for. And then Vector has sent me an email in the last week saying they now offer student vector trainings. So that is something we're looking into. You guys had asked at the previous meeting, and I kind of wanted to make sure I touched on that. And then school board candidacy is going to be August 26th from 9 to 5. So if you are interested, it's August 26th, 9 to 5 at the courthouse. And it is on the website, any of the information. We put a little flyer together so that way people would know.
Thank you. Now thinking, you know what? I wonder if digital citizenship, they probably maybe even have something in Canvas.
So we don't have Canvas yet, so that
But Canvas is free. Yeah.
like Canva or
You
Canvas,
Canvas. Like Canvas, like the
like
platform.
you guys utilize that versus Google Classroom.
Right. But I think that is, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the platform that PED pays for. Maybe.
They did for a while, so okay.
Mhm.
I'll look into it.
I mean, Canva probably would do a quarterly.
I was like, man, we're gonna.
I mean, that would be a cuter one, but. Okay,
And that is all I have for superintendent report.
okay. Thank you, ma'am. Item 5, public forum. So this is a 3-minute time limit per presenter. Public comments and observations regarding non-agenda items that fall within the purview of the board are considered at this time. Comments regarding matters under litigation will not be allowed, and no action will be taken on items presented, but may be referred to staff or other. I don't know if you have any, yeah. Oh, I have one hand up, but let's see what the order is. Okay, we have Miss Franco, Rebecca Franco. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I am Rebecca Franco, president of the DDAA. And disappointingly, it's come to our attention of the DDAA that at several leadership meetings that it's been asked that they get rid of the DDAA because what does the DDA do for anybody? Well, the DDA does a lot for a lot of people in the community, a whole lot of people, and especially our students and stuff. But here is a copy of our financials. We don't really give them to anybody unless the school asks or whatever. Mrs. Pierce already has one, but these are for the last 4 years of what we've done as far as fundraising, football games, and I think people think that because we volunteer our time and we work football games, that all the money should go or goes to the football team. That's not the truth. We, as the DDA, give to all activities, even community people, people who request the money, though the DDA votes on it, who gets how much money or what. But to get rid of the DDAA would be such a horrible, awful thing for the community and for the school events. Because we pretty much give all the monies away to every single group that asks us for money, we try to give some sort of financial help or whatever. And with those papers, you can see on the back end of who we've written the checks to, who we give the money to, and that's only for the sake of being that, like I said, they want to get rid of the DDAA. And as of right now, we're going to be putting in 5 new officers, and until we get those complete officers, the DDA is going to stay stagnant. We've removed all of our equipment from the football field at the field, over there. So equipment, all that stuff has now been removed and will stay parked somewhere else until I guess it gets decided if you all want the DDA to help out at the games anymore, or give to the community, or give to the school. I don't know who gets to vote on that or what, but I do know that our program, I've been part of it for 14 years, and it's a so volunteer situation. Nobody gets paid. Nobody really gets, in the sense that I can understand now, we don't get appreciated for what we do because we've asked for several years for other people to come and help us, to volunteer even 1 quarter, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, come and help us air up the football helmet so the boys could have the helmet or whatever. We can't even get people to volunteer for that, much less to try to accommodate anything else that we could do. You know what I mean? So as of right now, the DDAA is not gone, but the DDAA will not function this year unless, I guess, we get 5 new officers in there and the school wants us.
So-
Because we can't continue to do it if
I've got a couple questions. So who,
You can't comment.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Franco.
So, I'm sure, I don't know if we could ever answer any questions if you guys have any, but, my phone number, I'm Rebecca Franco. The number has been put on the website because we are looking for officers. You're more than welcome to call me and I will answer any questions that I have. But I believe that our past, treasurer, if you have any financial questions, Beanie Morales, has all of that stuff. It would be a more
You've been in
complete,
contact, I think. Thank you.
a more complete. But I appreciate y'all's time, and it's really sad that the DDA might be ending, but there's nothing we can do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Um. Sean Powell?
Madam President, I wrote yes on that before.
Okay, okay. I'm like, okay, so that's all we have for today. Okay, item 6, business. Item A, supporting career and technical ed for Travis County mill levy for Enid and Roswell. And now you're up. See, you were right next into it. Fun.
Madam President, good members, Superintendent Pierce, thank you for the chance to come and visit with you and the individuals who are here with your board meeting. I'm Sean Powell, President of Ian and New Roswell, and I appreciate again the chance to be here. I wanted to let you know also, I'm kind of on the bubble back here because we've got a community college board member who works for your school district. So I'm under scrutiny on either side. So I'm Ms. Miller is here watching very closely, so I'll do my best. We're in the process of trying to increase our career technical education programming. So that's in our health sciences and also our technical education schools. And in order to do that, we're looking at going for a mill levy in the November election. And the information that you have before you is an invitation to a presentation and dinner event that's being sponsored by our foundation. And there's several dates on there. And if you're interested and available and want to come to one of the dinners, it'll be held on campus. And this is in one here in Dexter. And we will do a real thorough explanation of what we're looking for in terms of our career technical education programming. And I know one of the things that's out in the area is about dual credit. And this is something that we really want to focus on with any money that might come of this, is increasing opportunities for students at Dexter, like Arthur and Hagerman schools. All of our superintendents from Chavez County and Artesia have visited our campus this summer, and I've had a chance to talk with them about this mill levy and why we want to do it and why we want to look at offering more career and technical education programming in the high schools to give more pathways for students and hopefully look at meeting the needs of the local community here in Dexter and also in all of the communities in our county. With that, ma'am, I'd be glad to stand for any questions if you have any, and if not, I'll be glad to sit down.
Thank you, sir. I don't know if we have any questions. Does anybody have any questions? No. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. So item B, discussion of school board team building and strategic plan.
And I really just have some questions in terms of when I got ready to start looking into this, it's a lot more comprehensive or a lot more simple based upon what we decide we need. In terms of time, are we looking at like a 6-month comprehensive our due diligence to dig through data and provide this, or are we wanting a more, let's get a plan in place, go from there, and then at a later date, do the comprehensive with every piece that comes with that? Because we're talking a pretty big price difference as well, and it's also some people differences on who does those kind of strategic plans.
I was thinking more long-term, probably. That was my thinking on it, to start small and then stretch out, but I don't know. I mean, that was Kelly Cobo's thinking. I don't know what everybody else is.
With the long-term plan, the person I talked to initially was like, well, we can start with board plan, but then it gets very granular to each school, goes to 90-day plan to help build towards that. Like there's all of those services that come in with that. But before we went that way, because that's how I kind of felt like if we're going to do this, let's start at the big picture, grab that, and then all the little goals off of there should then come back to the plan. And we should have somebody to help us through that initially. But if we're kind of like, hey, we just want to get something in place and then we can move on from there, I'm okay with that too. It just,
What's your long-term Like in how many months or how do you, are you?
Oh, gosh, we would probably need to at least look out like 3 years, 5 years.
So 6 months is kind of their ability to plan for, I guess it's how long do you want to plan? Like they can come and do a 1 day or 2 day workshop with us and plan through that. And we plan kind of a base level.
Yeah.
Or we
Great
take them
idea.
for 6 months
Mhm.
and it's very deep into what we get through. And we really start by looking at the data and pieces as well.
Well, and it is almost worth, I think, to do like a 1 and 2 day and just like get our footing, because I don't think we even have that, right? Like, I mean, kind of like, I mean, I think that the one that we had gotten it was like a team building or something like that.
Yeah.
It did say something like that. I can't.
So you're
remember
thinking
exactly.
1-2 days of doing it together?
And then we can decide, like, okay, do we want to continue down this path and do like a 6 months to where we're, going huge idea and then narrowing in, or is 1-2 days and we're like, let's call it good and we know what we're doing and we don't need the big
Do we
thing.
have to make a choice between a 2 day and a 6 month?
No, but it just kind of narrows our focus on where we look for that. And also as I'm getting some quotes, we can kind of fill that piece into, I can ask them across the board for like, hey, what's the small base? But I kind of wanted to have an idea of, is this the right direction that we want to go in this before I,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think one for do you guys for preference. Like, do you want to just go like, okay, we're gonna do this and we're just gonna go, or do you want to like say, okay, let's meet and for 1 or 2 days, see what this could potentially lead to, and then decide after that, or just dive in?
Well, the thing about it is that, I mean, it all requires a lot of work and obviously a lot of time away from family and a time away from work that we don't get back. So when we make a commitment, I feel like we owe it to the constituents that if we make a commitment and it's 2 days, we could make it, we'll see what they can tailor to us. But if it's a 2 day commitment, short-term 6 months with the option to, hey, we're going to extend it so that we keep growing. Because if we're going to demand everybody else to grow and we expect
Okay.
everybody else to grow ourselves,
Exactly.
you to put in the work. So I'd be okay with something, 6 months, let's get something going. And then we do have an election in November. So depending on who stays and who doesn't, we'll have to be patient with the new board members as well and bring them on board.
okay. That
So,
just kind of
yeah.
gives me a good idea of where
So
to
1
go
to 2
from
days,
here.
kind of like consulting, and then
Yes.
Mhm.
And kind of just, hey, here's our big picture.
Mhm.
That's where we're starting. And then from there we can go on.
Are there several like firms or places?
Yes, there's
A lot.
a lot. So.
Yeah.
But we can, narrow some of them down by at least process of elimination. Like they only do like the larger plans of.
Right. Okay. All righty. Thank you. Okay, item 6C, discussion and overview of substitute pay and substitute training. And so I think Ms. Pierce included.
So that's in your packet.
Mhm.
And so it was kind of just brought to my attention on the substitute pay and the changes. This was from the board meeting in which we approved the budget. And so that was on there that, we did make changes to sub pay, and it's just there, the $16. But I wanted to tell you guys kind of where that decision came from and the reason for it. So on that top sheet, the cover sheet, you'll notice that the largest amount of days sub were for greater than 20 days. We had 358 days that were greater than 20. And so that alone was a reason that we felt, okay, we need to reward those people who are doing more than 20 days, because that alone is a giant piece of work. Those people are doing lesson plans. Those people are doing all the day in, day out job of a teacher, essentially. When we looked at school districts close to us, the majority of them do a 1 day and then anywhere from 10 to 30 days. So that's their next step. So, we're kind of right in the middle of some of those. So we this last year decided we only had 158 3 days. That was our lowest number of days that were subbed, that let's just bump that pay of the 20-day up. And you'll see that it's on the next page. You can see by how much. Our 20-day subs for non-certified subs is going to be $20 a day. So they'll get, or $20 an hour. So all of these are in the hour increment. When we do our $16 a day times our 7 3/4 hours, we are comparable to everybody around us as well. That piece of it is super important to me because we need to be within all our districts somewhat similar. Not that we're overshooting it, not that Roswell isn't going to give more money to teachers and stuff like that. But if we can be comparable to them, we're still getting our sub numbers. The biggest piece of information that you got tonight was based on the 4-year rate. So you'll notice that there are some years that there's no sub rate pay that goes up. We did want our subs to get a raise based on that. So the $16 is what we landed on. The other reason that it's $16 is the fact that our current employees, this does not exceed their current hourly rate. So we wanted it to be comparable to some of our lower end staff that do receive hourly pay. And this keeps us in the comparable range at $16.
Can you repeat that? It's comparable or it's less or more?
It's comparable. It's just a little less, and I didn't put that in the file tonight, but I do have all of that information as well. We keep a chart of all the way from subs to superintendent pay rate based on per hour, because that's also a piece of that. So we can ensure that basically the tree continues to move up as you gain responsibility in the district.
So on 20 days, that used to be 4 weeks, right?
Yes.
But then now that's 5 weeks. So do you feel like that's going to change for subs, since like usually when people leave, like let's say medical leave or something, doctors say you have 4 weeks. And so then now that might.
And I don't think that, as we talked about that, like the number of days was probably not taken into consideration. We really did just look at places around us and what they were doing. I felt that 30 days, which 2 districts around us utilize, I thought that was a little much because that's over a month, almost 2 months of sub pay. Some of them utilize the 10-day, which with our 4-day a week, that might be more appropriate. And it probably might be because of the 4-day that we might need to go to a 10-day or 15-day based upon that. That would have to come back for your guys' approval in that regard.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we saw this stuff, but I guess like I didn't think the 20-day either. I
didn't think the 4 days a week making
that makes sense. Like, so before, like, let's say somebody leaves on sick leave, doctors usually say you're out for 4 weeks, right? 4 weeks used to be 20 days. And then, you give and take some more days there. But then now, so if somebody's out for 4 weeks, that's actually only 16 days that a sub would be subbing. So then they never, ever get that bump up. That makes sense.
And how many of these situations do we see a year, do you think?
So we don't track, we just track it by the number of absences that we paid for that position. So in terms of last year.
Maternity? Yeah, maternity leaves would probably be a little bit more.
Maternity,
but,
yeah,
like
6
regular.
to 8 to 12, depending on that. Last year we had more due to the fact that we had open positions as well, because we had places that we were utilizing subs in those. Because we currently only have the position at the middle school life skills teacher. Any of you who would like to be a life skills teacher, we have a position open at the middle school. That also has helped us a lot, just because of whenever you have several of those positions open. But I do think that wouldn't be a bad way to go, is instead it maybe needs to be, weeks would be hard to track, days are easier to track, but in terms of our weeks are shorter. Would you like us to bring that to the next board meeting as an action item?
I would. Just,
Like, just clarification on which
Mhm.
FMLA is 12 weeks, but because like summer breaks, Thanksgiving breaks, we track it by days. So it's 12, it's 16, 12.
well, but like, let's say they're out for
Just letting
surgery.
you know.
Usually when, like, let's say somebody's out for surgery or something, the doctor says you gotta be out for 4 weeks, right? Like, I mean, it varies, right? It just depends on the surgery, but before, again, right, we went to shorter weeks. So in order for the subs to be compensated and into a long-term plan, 20 days used to be the 4 weeks. Now a month is actually 16 days. I don't know. I feel like we kind of messed with everything else, and I don't want to say mess. That's not a good choice word. But you know what I mean? We adjusted to everything else. We just, I mean, it was hard. It's hard. I get
Well,
it.
and this will give you a
Mhm.
month to think about it, and in terms of what we decide based on
Mhm.
that time, this is just bringing it up for vote.
It
Are we
just-
on top?
Well, not really, but,
Or just give a little suggestion of what y'all are gonna discuss.
At the next agenda, they can.
Will you discuss it before then?
no, we can't discuss stuff like. with
You can call them
ourselves.
individually.
Yeah, you can call each of us or, a couple of us, but, yeah. Thank you, Jeanette. Okay. I think that, yeah, just getting it drawn up and then that way there's just a little bit of variability, I guess, for them. And then that way it does make it, like you said, the ones that are here for the 20+ days, we do want to compensate them, but now the 20 is actually 16. So I think that would be a fair adjustment. But we could bring it next time and see what everybody else thinks. Okay. Back to us. Okay, item 6D, discussion overview of Dexter's breakfast program.
So you asked me to come up with when people ate breakfast, and then the law is also here. So schools must offer breakfast, meeting a requirement of this section at or near the beginning of the school day. That is the only requirement. In fact, there are, it goes into a little bit further, and I gave you guys the USDA website as well, if you want to go through there. But grab and go is actually clearly like their preference, because they reference that multiple times in terms of come through the cafeteria, grab your breakfast, go to your next class. So, there's the information based on how long we're getting our students at the elementary school are eating in their classroom. And so based upon, teacher taking attendance and everything else, it fluctuates a little bit more than the others. Middle school breakfast actually begins at 7:45 to 8. Not necessarily, they do allow students to be dropped off earlier. Our middle school students are actually eating less frequently than our high school students. So I got that this afternoon after I'd already printed this, but our high school students are eating more than our middle school students. And so some of that I think might be the time in which they're eating, but also possibly the fact that it's before school, that they're just there lingering, and so providing that time.
So do they take their like meals to the classroom and that's okay? To
Who?
high school?
High school,
Yes.
they can. I actually went to breakfast this morning to kind of just watch and make sure that everything, students were through the line within 2 minutes. The majority of them were done before 7 minutes. There was kids leaving without anyone prompting them by 9 minutes. So no one's prompting them to say, hey, get up and leave. The bell prompts them to leave. And there's a lot of students leaving through the doors as well. On burrito day, the majority of kids are, if they're eating too. So they are eating
Burrito day is
burritos at that time.
Anybody have any questions on breakfast? Because there's different breakfast programs. So which one are we on? Like, how does it get funded, I guess?
So USDA funds them, Shelley, all of them. And so are you talking like, so our elementary does breakfast in the classroom?
Okay.
Is that kind of what you're
Yeah.
asking about?
Yeah, because it
It's
seems
no
like there's,
longer
like,
is funded
different ones.
based on any of that. It's
It's
all
just
funded after the
blanket.
bell. You have to have breakfast after the bell. That's how you receive funding.
So it's all after.
Yes. And that's why our middle school does meet requirements, because the bell actually rings at 7:45.
Right, that's what I was gonna ask. And, okay, so let's say kids show up late. What's the latest that they would get served? Is there anything on that, like the latest that they would get served?
If everything is gone, we always have to.
Cocoa Puffs it is. Gotcha.
Which is their favorite. Middle school kids cereal is their favorite. High school kids, not so much.
So, and they know that, right? Like they would know that that's being offered, I guess is the question. Like, yeah. Like if they show up late, like, let's just say the kid shows up late, they haven't had, I mean, we do have those scenarios, right? They didn't have dinner, they didn't have breakfast, so they're gonna be hungry and they won't have lunch till 12:30. Let's say it's a high schooler. Like, do they know that that's an option to come and get?
So I think because of when high school sits, it does sit in a time where it's already after the
Yeah.
first period, so we're not seeing the late
Sure.
kids on that.
Mhm.
However, we started implementing this week. This has nothing to do with the breakfast, but we have 2 refrigerators, one at the middle and one at the high school now. There's trays in there that are sealed for
Oh,
kids
got
to
a
take
little
home.
vacuum seal thing that.
Yes, and so we
Gotcha.
started that today, and we'll get to start counting how many trays we had 12 trays come out that today, and we put 6 in each, and so we'll be able to start tracking
How
kids.
many-
And then I think also the piece of that comes down to knowing our kids, and if encourage, like, hey, as they're leaving, hey, just get it out and hey, take this with you.
Yeah.
Because they may not grab it on their own, but
Right,
providing that.
yeah, kind of know which ones need it.
Anybody can get that food, so we encourage kids, if you have younger siblings, older siblings.
Grab for them too.
Because
Yeah.
it's not counting in any reimbursement anywhere. We don't wanna waste the food, so take.
Perfect. Yeah, I forgot about that little vacuum seal thing, but cool. Thank you. Mhm. Anyone else? No, we good there? We good. Okay, item 6E, discussion overview of current enrollment, and I think we already. kind of
But we
went
did,
over that.
but I broke it down into some of your questions on things that you had asked. So in district, we had 629 students. Out of district, 109 students. So we have a hefty out of district population, really. I've included in this information the board policy that goes over enrollment. And then we this year had just kind of started our own little procedure on enrollment in terms of where to come and get your information. And then what things you need, and then out of district versus in district. In district kids are pretty simple, straightforward. It comes, goes, they go through the process, and everything is pretty simple because we have a residency that we check. And then out of district, we do call previous school because in the board policy, it does say that based upon previous school, if they've been suspended, even long-term, or expelled, if there's any other behavior that prompts like a warrant to be concerned for other students, then we don't have to accept out of district kids. So that's kind of just in the
Process. Mhm.
and that goes to the principal, and then they can appeal to superintendent, and then they can go on and appeal to the board as per the policy in that piece. SPED, we have really looked at numbers, and we've kind of got a really good grasp on our students now in terms of our elementary, middle, and high school, as well as our SPED director has been working hard to ensure that, who their case manager is. We had some discrepancies in the past on maybe our special ed teacher was actually the case manager for a speech kiddo, and so we cleaned up that pretty close all the way down. And so I feel these numbers are pretty solid in terms. Our elementary school has 69 special education students, middle school 25, and high school 22. And I would say that this should be pretty much the way it should look. Our elementary should be heavy. Our kids, we should have those students who are getting speech or OT, PT. We would rather do early intervention versus wait till they're in sixth grade to all of a sudden pick these things up. So our hope is a lot of the time, by the time they get to middle school, we're not needing all of that extra services. So then they can go into their classrooms and succeed. That does not mean that we take all those services away. It's hopefully we've built up some of those strategies so they don't need all the service time that they were getting. So our ELL students, there's 73 at the elementary school, 40 at the middle school, 59 at the high school. Currently, we're servicing them through our regular education classroom. We will try to provide training for all of our regular education classrooms at this point for students, our ELL students. However, November comes up for the ability to apply for bilingual programs. I would like to look into that. A lot of our neighboring districts have bilingual programs. Some of those are pull-out programs. Some of those have teachers in which they rotate during the day, whatever that looks like. I think we have to make it meet our needs, but I would like to see that K-12, we're providing those services. Our middle school is currently already meeting the need for a bilingual program, but our other two schools, definitely, we need to get there as well.
No, thank you for that.
Yeah, and then just elementary, middle school, and high school
Separate
numbers, separated here for you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? No?
No.
Item 6F, discussion overview of athletics.
So volleyball, their official start date today, so we don't have any numbers on volleyball. However, football, we have 28 at the middle school level and 46 at the high school level. Cross country, its first official day is today too, so I anticipate us having some numbers for that come next month. I learned this today. Cheer is technically a winter sport, so they are currently not in season, even though they cheer at our football games. They're currently not in season. So when we look at dual participation, they're not actually, they don't fall under that right now because of it being a winter sport.
Start in January?
No, it's like October because March is their competition. So, and then 8th grade participation, based on the fact that we have 0 right now for football. And then as soon as we have volleyball, we can provide that information. And then I did provide you the 8th grade information that I received from AD in terms of the guidelines, and then also the 8th grade activity participation that's signed at the end. I think the last.
I know, it's a way at the end. GDA. I have blood papers here.
We cut out so many of them too by going online.
Oh, that's wild. The packet would have been hefty. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns on athletics?
I know they've been working on the student handbook.
Yes, and it is out, and I did not. I can make you a copy before you leave tonight, so that way you can read it. Because I do have a copy of that.
Thank you.
I also have the staff handbook, but it is also not complete. It is not completed. When you hyperlink 42 things per page, we're getting closer. It's getting closer.
Not bad though, shoot. I mean, this is tiny compared to what we would get. We good? Any questions? Fine, so,
Takes a bunch of signatures not to play up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I logged me out. Got too long. I don't know the password, sorry, guys. Okay, are we good? Everybody good?
Yep.
Good. Item 6G, approval of policy advisory number 265, EBC emergencies. I believe this was the water safety. No, not yet. The different.
No, this is the emergencies. This basically goes back to us having a school safe plan. We went over those one meeting. This is now another layer for the state to say, hey, you have to have these plans. It's no longer just the law in which there is a law that we have these plans, but also now it trickles down to having a school board policy to ensure people have these plans in place. So I do recommend approval. And we do currently meet this with our school safe plan as well.
Sorry, I'm still trying to. log in.
I recommend we approve policy number 265 EBC.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Miles and a second by Mr. Davalos. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Item 6H, approval of policy advisory number 266 IA, instructional goals and objectives, June 2025.
And this included the science of reading language in there. And so I am recommending that we approve that policy as well.
Okay, do we have a motion on the floor or comments, questions, discussion before we go there?
I'm ready to make a motion if everybody
Okay.
agrees. I'll make a motion of 266 IA, instructional goals and objectives of June 2025.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Segovia. Do we have a second?
I'll-
second.
Go ahead.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Segovia, second by Ms. Miles. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Item 6I, approval of policy advisory number 268, JLCEC, cardiac emergency response plan, automated external defibrillators. Yes, one was the kind of the one that we were.
And this plan just asks, do we have them in place? And we have till 2026, 2027. We have one in all of those places. The only thing that I realized that we need is a count of those who are trained that don't necessarily meet our coach or our nurse, Mr. Loveland, who's helped, because whenever we have all of our people do suburban training, a lot of them are also trained for AED. So we have a big majority of them. So we're going to have a list now of all of those people who are provided.
Well, and would it be super tough to get like, say, all staff trained?
So there is
Oh my God,
so
I've just seen.
here's the other issue is that, I mean, I can train them all through vector trainings, but that's not great training, right? All our cafeteria have been trained hands-on. Adanya did that. I mean, I think that, yes, as we go through here, can we throw it in a staff meeting? Here's a 10-minute, here's how to use the AED. But the one thing is they do, as soon as you open it, it walks you through, it talks to you the whole time. So, I mean, we all need to know where it is. And I think that maybe even our students, that's something, if we ask them, hey, where's the AED located in your building? That would be something we probably need to preface for them as well, because they can use it based on it being, but do they know where it is if they needed it?
It's just like, seems like more and more, right? We see.
And age is no longer
Yeah,
a discrimination on.
Okay. Any further discussion, questions, comments, concerns, or a motion for item 6I?
I move we approve policy advisory 268.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Miles. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
A second by Mr. Davalos. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 6J, approval of policy advisory number 269, parental guidance for water safety. There's water safety.
Yes, and you saw the policy, but then you hopefully saw the handout we've already created to add to our packet. We cannot, give every kid swimming lesson. So the option is to put it where every year we release it, so that way parents know where to find those things. And so we've included that. If you don't see any, changes, that's where we will start putting that out. This year we'll just have to send it to kids since we already sent out enrollment packets, but in the future, we'll include it in the enrollment packet.
Item 6K, first reading and policy advisory number 270, copyright compliance.
Oh, we didn't approve the,
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just
I'll make a motion
sped through that.
I'll make a
Ran a
motion
red
to approve the policy number 269.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Segovia. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, a second by Mr. Lavalos. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I yielded a little bit, maybe. Item 6K, first reading of policy advisory number 270, copyright compliance.
So the next three, 270, 271, and 272, I actually have a meeting on Thursday with superintendents, because these all have to do with technology and artificial intelligence. We're kind of all gonna get together and see what people already have in place, but also how do we make this be able to grow with students? Because obviously AI already has, come up with more than we would ever think about. So in terms of policy, if there's something good, we may want to amend some of these policies in the future if there's something that comes out of that meeting that allows us to, meet the growing needs of AI and the technology piece in general.
Are we doing anything right now with, as far as like monitoring AI usage or like any kind of monitoring?
I don't believe so, but I do think that we have shut down a lot of the AI sites to students. That's about the length that it goes. I'm like,
Jonathan's like,
That's a question. I mean, there's a lot to learn from it as well.
Oh, for
I think.
sure.
So it's like, it's two-sided. I mean, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I agree.
we really need a training. I do think our staff in general, probably we need a training on how to utilize AI in the classroom for student use. And there's more and more companies coming out with trainings as well. So
Oh, yeah, I know someone actually, kind of
Okay.
ish. So.
send them.
Mhm. Okay. So first reading, and we don't have to take any action because it's just first reading. Item 6L, first reading of policy advisory number 271, use of technology resources and instruction. And then item 6M, first reading of policy advisory number 272, use of artificial intelligence. And so that kind of is all a little bit encompassed together there. Anybody have any questions, comments, anything? No? Okay, item 7A, approval of July bills and payroll.
I'll make a motion to approve the July bills and payroll.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion by Ms. Segovia, a second by Mr. Zavalos. All in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Motion passes. Item 7B, approval of budget adjustments.
Those are in your file. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I will next time.
Oh, sorry, is that my lead?
No, I laid everything I was in charge of, but nothing you were in charge of, Jeannie.
So in your list of find facilities and finance, and it's in there. There are two, I already told Chris, don't get too excited about budget approval, but our direct legislative appropriations that we asked for, we've received 2 agreements.
Oh, I see. Mhm.
Until we receive the award letter, we can't budget it, but this way it's approved and taken care of. Once we get, Molly returns contract.
I did.
Agreement.
Already returned.
So anyway, so they're there, but that doesn't mean we're gonna have budget for a while.
You guys see those? It's for the track renovations and field house fitness.
Yes.
Some repair renovations. Like a. Okay. We have
We approve the budget adjustments.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor for budget adjustments. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Item 8A, new hires. We have Miss Ginger Miller, the culinary teacher at the high school. I don't know, I don't see a new face, so.
No, she is
Yeah.
not.
Devaney Candelaria, EA at the elementary. Welcome, Ginger and Devaney. Item 8B, I don't know where I got 6 from. Resignations, Connie Rourke, life skills teacher at the middle school. I believe we have a resignation letter in our.
Yes, and it's not, but it's in there if you'll
Yes.
go under the.
And then, item 9, correspondence. I think I have something from Eastern and stuff here. I don't think they saw.
Yes, and then the only other thing was a policy service policy alert. And so NMSBA just wants us to be aware that there is currently a court case with the Supreme Court that could possibly change our policies in the future, but right now until it is over, they would like us to just continue what we're doing.
What is it regarding?
Parents' ability to choose on curriculum. And we already do, have some policies in place that they can exempt requests from certain standards and instructional resource material. So they believe at this point that these are going to cover them. But if anything further comes out of the case, then we would on page, it doesn't have a page number. I think it's 4. That's where 3. It has all the different policies that we currently have in place that protect us from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
But yeah, at least we are aware that, it is currently happening.
And then item 9B, future meetings and events. So August 13th and 14th is school picture day. Geez. And
With that, I hope that as you see our staff, they will be wearing all their new badges. So based upon, safety reasons. And because not that we don't know everybody, but if a student is looking, at least we'll know who is staff and who's not.
Awesome.
and they'll issue them right then and there on the spot.
Last time it was about a week or 2 before we got them. So I would hope by our September meeting that everybody's wearing there.
And then September 8th is our next regular board meeting. Does anybody have anything else to add?
Mrs. Strand, there was a notice on Facebook and I can remember reading it, but I can't remember exactly the date that the Activities Association is sending a representative to conduct a meeting. Thank you.
Miller Auditorium at 5:30. That'll take us like we usually do a preseason video. I felt this would be doable, and they're sending 2 of their staff members to come and do what would take place with the preseason video.
And that's parents and students.
Parents, athletes, students, staff, coaches, activities, we're all invited.
And so this is NMA, is this NMAA or?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't clear.
Thank you. I thought I saved it, but
It's on Facebook, on the website, and on the text messages.
yeah, I saw it on Facebook. Thank you.
And then, this is kind of a board deal, but we probably need to schedule, an executive session to go over eval or like get that process started, because we usually have to have it done, the first one done before November. So I don't know what date.
Yeah, I was thinking it was October.
Yeah, it's before November for sure. So, I don't know. Unless we do it at the next one, it'll be fine. We could do it September 8th as well. Or unless we want to just do it as separate, so we aren't here for this and then, I don't know. Totally up to y'all. I want to do that.
As a preference.
This is what is this in regarding? I'm sorry.
We are obligated to have our superintendent's evaluation initiated before October.
Okay.
Or before the end of October, or the end of October.
Okay.
It snuck up on us last year, so.
Well, and the flood and all that, so, but we got it done just a couple days later, but.
So we would do that with an executive session.
Mhm.
When do we want to have?
Yeah, so we're saying, do we want to have it like in conjunction with our regular September 8th meeting and then stay after for executive, or do we want to have it like in between and not, and just come for just that?
I mean, my opinion would be probably, if we gotta have it done by October, do it the meeting of after, and we can do an executive session. That way we have, you know, there's so, yeah, well, there's so many good plans in place, and, you know, I wanna see everything kind of come to fruition. I wanna see the fruits of everybody's labor, you know. Good numbers, good reviews, better attendance, all that good stuff. So I feel like it'd be a disservice to have it sooner than later. So,
So you want to do it the September meeting? Stay after?
and we have to have it by the end of September, or by the end of October.
So here's the deal. So we don't necessarily have to do the we have to do the evaluation before November, but we haven't even looked over the documents. So we do need to do that so that,
We have a starting place.
Okay.
exactly.
September would work then. That way we have,
Fine.
that would work.
Up to y'all.
Perfect.
Mrs. Pierce, is that okay with you?
That works good. I'll already be here, so.
Okay, so we'll just plan on doing that. We'll just add it to the September 8th, and that's fine. with me. I just know we need to start somewhere, so to pass us by. Yeah, so we'll just do executive on September 8th to begin the eval, so we can look over documents and whatnot, and then October we'll actually do the. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
It's not doing it now, it's just getting the process started. Mhm. Okay, and then, anything else? We good? Nope.
Okay.
Okay, item 10, adjournment. We have a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I will make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Segovia. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Miles, second. All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Gracias. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.